Hello, everyone, to Season 2, Episode 2. Welcome to the shit show. Let's get this on the road, then, because nobody watches anyway. So, quick introduction. These are the players. I'm the GM. Done. What happened last week? Don't know. Go watch the video. It was actually 3 weeks ago. I mean, just go watch it. Set it to 2 times speed. You're caught up. Job done. Right, let's go. So, when last seen? I actually don't know because I was watching the video back and I got to 20 minutes left to go and then it was time to start this session. So I can't remember. But you were leaving the city on a mission and I've done exactly 0 prep. So you are given a day boat to head out of the city. And if I recall correctly, you wanted to take the southern route around. So if we have a little quick gander at the map here. You are, does it show my mouse? Yes. So you are here in Moraine in the Waterfall Palace, which overhangs the last waterfall. Beyond you to the sea to the south, you can see the Great Tsunami Wall. You can just about see it. There's a lot of spray. There's an artificial island to your east, which will be on your left because you're looking south. There's an artificial island, which is the southern docks of Moraine. There's a lot of trading ships come in at that port, and there's some more of those hydraulic lifts. And if I recall correctly, your plan was to take a little boat out here and then up this river and head up to the village of Arwent, where there's this guy you want to assassinate. I can't remember his name.
And you are the GM.
Well,
I'll look that up the next session.
Given we're going to assassinate him, I think we should call him Mark.
The Mark. Oh God, where was I've got notes? Hang on, let me find the folder. Introduce yourselves or some shit.
I can't actually remember who I am.
Well, we did a whole session figuring out who you were.
I know.
Your name is Phil.
Yeah, I got that bit. I got that far.
Well, I remember that I'm a cat person, and I had a very uncomfortable set of lessons with a specific teacher because the chairs were so hard.
The name is Civilius Silverbraid. That is the name of your mark.
Silverbraid.
Right, I'm going to put that into the file I'm currently using for my notes. Yes, your teachers, just the important characters from your education were as follows. So Castelletta was the bully at the orphanage. The furniture was sentient. Your religion, heraldry, and history teacher was Professor Raven, who Phil's character hated. Actually, let's just go back to the other camera view there. So Finny Nolly. Your sword fighting and literature was Mrs. Flop. She was a tiny, blonde, curly-haired, bubbly woman who was really good.
Mrs. Flop was a bay.
Yeah. You met a famous assassin called Marcus. He was blonde and dashing. So you do know him.
I put him down as Pustin Banderas.
Ah, right. No, that was when Marcus showed you around the Assassin's Guild. You met
that was Pustin Banderas. Yes,
Pustin Banderas, the famous catfolk assassin, and he was your mentor for a few years and taught you some stuff.
Yeah.
We never named the prudish bitch teacher, who was your interpersonal skills teacher. You all basically failed that class, but you are good at etiquette. You know how to behave. We also did
prudish teacher that everyone hated.
Yeah.
She's got to be called Thatcher, surely.
We did that in a game last week, so let's not. There was another teacher. He wanted. It was your athletics teacher. Again, we didn't name him, but he was the kind of teacher that wanted to be popular, so he wasn't that good at actually teaching. That was your athletics teacher. In the Waterfall Palace, you met a character called Sapling from House Willow, and he's going off on his own adventure now, as I recall. There were a few other characters, and I can't remember if any of them survived, because that's all in the last 20 minutes of the video of of last session. So
Well, I
remember.
managed.
Pigtails.
I managed to kick.
Pigtails.
I managed to kick Castelletta on the grass after we were
Yes.
told not to step on the grass.
And you're still not sure if the Queen saw you push Castelletta or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't step on the grass. He did.
You didn't step on the grass, but you pushed him on the grass.
Because he's a
when
dick.
When Zeev went to grass him up, the Queen was like, I saw. And you still don't know if she saw you doing the push.
Well, she sent us on the mission.
She
Unless
has indeed.
it is a suicide mission for all 4 of us, that would be a little bit overkill, just to punish me. So I assume she didn't see or didn't
She can
want
do
to
what
see.
she wants.
She's the Dragon Queen. She's,
Yeah, I can see that.
I can see her. I can see her making an example of you and a few of your cohorts, because we kind of all went in with you.
All right,
Yeah.
let's add right into season 3.
Yeah, sorry, cross me or kill you and all your friends.
Well, what you
fuck,
do
another
know-
character, Jen.
What you do know as players is what happens to Piglet Tails. And of course, as players, you know she's essentially given the same mission. You're the backup plan. So she obviously had a higher opinion of Piglet Tails than you, because she sent 4 of you guys.
Was Piglet the same year as us? She's not a year higher or anything.
Well, don't forget, the Queen doesn't do the graduation every year, and in fact, you had to wait a couple of years. She was at the orphanage ahead of you, though.
Okay.
So maybe she was slightly older. Who knows? Susan's lifespan's probably different anyway. In her case, it turned out not to be very long. So, you're given a day boat, and you make your way back out the causeway. You have to kind of go over the first waterfall. Up to the first waterfall to get the hydraulic lift to go down. And then you're on this little sailing boat with just the 4 of you, and you're heading off to the southern docks. Who's sailing this boat, by the way? Who's got sailing as a that is a tell me that's not the
That's
character
not a
sheet.
thing.
It'd be river environment.
Oh, not me.
I do have river.
There we go.
It's
Sounds like it's
1 in river.
Mm-hmm.
Better than 0, mate.
Better than everyone else.
Yeah, so you're sufficiently skilled to sail this boat across to the southern docks, and so you arrive. But obviously, what you know, because you know enough about sailing, you know this boat is not sufficient to go into the open sea to the south. You're going to have to actually take a boat that somebody else is. Like, you're going to have to get passage. So
Sounds fair.
You arrive on the southern docks. Now, the southern docks is an artificial island spread over the waterfall. So it also has its own hydraulic lifts. It also has steps going down. But the big ships, so the bit that's artificial, is at the base of the this waterfall. This sort of huge island, which is just a big harbour, basically, for all the big boats that come in. They don't go up the hydraulic lift. It's goods that go up there. And then there's another dock on the north shore, above the waterfall, that other boats then, take the goods away. Because it is just too impractical to get a big boat up one of the big waterfalls. So they have special barges for that. So, you arrive in the harbour and Finny Nolly goes AFK.
Yes.
Just at that moment. And back.
Muted.
I am.
And so, and fuck me, this bra hurts. Don't mind me. I'm just gonna undo it. Oh, that's better. Right. You arrive in the northern docks of the southern docks, as it were, and it's pretty much what you would expect. This is an industrial island. It's just goods come in and they get up the elevators and then get sent out on barges. So there's warehouses, there's taverns, there are a few boarding houses, and there's some raucous kind of places, and there's not a lot else. It's mostly warehouses and sailors getting their end away. But the docks are huge.
All right.
Okay, we need to secure passage then on a ship, one that's big enough to take us and this little boat of ours, obviously.
I was checking again my skills because I didn't remember how much I could behave. But Gamlagad can behave quite well.
Oh, yeah. You've all got etiquette, yeah.
Mm.
No, I also have 3 persuasion and 3 charm.
Okay.
You'll be doing the negotiating then.
Don't forget, though, your little boat, is on the northern docks, and you need to sail from the southern docks, which is down the waterfall. Waterfall's only a few hundred feet high, but it's a bit iffy sailing over it.
Yeah.
So you'd have to actually transport it over the island.
Oh, we've got to take the whole thing with us. Okay.
If you want to take that boat with you, you don't have to.
Well, the thing is, if we don't take the boat, it means that when we get off the boat that we're getting, we're going to have to then find another boat to go upstream with.
Mm.
So we may as well take this one, and then we've got a boat.
Well, whose property is this boat of? Is this Queen's property? Our orphanage property?
You were given it by a House Oak guard when you left the palace.
All right. So we cannot sell it. All right.
He didn't explain who owned it. He just gave you a boat.
Yeah, I just wanted to know if we could sell it in order to maybe get some money for a passage.
He didn't say you have to bring it back. He just gave you this little sailing boat.
There's not some initials carved in saying DQ, is there?
or oak trees on the prow or something.
I'll tell you what. It says Green Guard underneath the name, so it's got a name. I don't know. Let's call it the Leafy Wind. And then underneath it says Green Guard. So you're pretty sure this belongs to the house guard of your house.
So cheesy.
We could probably sell that then, justify it, can we?
Yeah, I mean, you are nobles of the house.
Yeah.
Don't forget, you've got cash. You don't need money.
Do we?
We might not want to maybe... I've got a feeling we might want to bring this back in one piece and all that.
No, it's just a boat. Right, so just to remind you, in case, because it was 3 weeks ago, Moraine, as you know, is the richest city probably in the multiverse. There's 3 mountains that are basically gold beside the city. It's a mountain range with like these 3 big mountains that are full of gold. The other mountains have got gold in as well. The Dragon Queen, as you know, it came to this city because of the amount of gold it has and set up here. So she's probably the most powerful dragon in the multiverse. You are House Oak. House Oak are currently hold the position of the Chancellor of the Keys, which means your house controls the treasury. So to say you are wealthy would be an understatement. When it came to writing how much gold you have on your character sheet, the question I actually asked you was, how much gold do you want to be carrying? You have an unlimited supply.
Oh, yeah, right. Told us.
The boat to you is irrelevant. Only in the sense of it's what you're currently in. Therefore, do you want the convenience to carry it with you, or do you want to buy another one somewhere?
I think we should throw someone a coin to take it back and buy another one.
Maybe we'll find a better one a bit further down.
You mean buying a boat for sailing in open seas and then leaving it somewhere and then adding inland.
Well, I would say hiring a boat to get us where we're.
Yeah, I was thinking that rather than
get us where
buying
we're going, and then at the docks where we get off this boat, we can buy ourselves a nice little boat that will go upstream with us.
Because it looks like we're intending on going inland. There is a town there, so we could probably get something more suitable. Because a seagoing ship is not going to get us inland.
No. A ship that's designed to deal, a big ship designed to deal with the sea ain't going to go out in the river.
And I think we probably need someone that knows what they're doing on the open sea as well. If we can get passage, it'd be ideal.
Yeah, passage would be better.
Yeah, even because we are understaffed to manage an open sea boat.
Yeah, plus my knowledge is rivers, not open seas.
I wouldn't say knowledge. I would say little bits and bobs of brain work. Knowledge implies there's a book written about it.
Yes. Well, not to put too fine a point on it, old boy, but my bits and bobs are bigger than yours when it comes to river knowledge.
Maybe, but you need somebody to help with the actual open ocean.
I'm sorry, are we arguing about bullshit or we can get going?
We can get going.
All right. That's my 5 points of taking.
We round up how many steps you take compared to the rest of us.
Sorry, I didn't catch any of that because 2 of you insisted on carrying on over the top of each other.
Go for it, Jason.
No, it's fine. That he was partially disguising what he was saying, so Gamla Red wouldn't notice that he was insulting him.
And all I said in reply to, "Are we doing this or that?" And I just said, "I can multitask. I can argue about bullshit and go for and head down river. I can multitask."
Okay. So, are you heading for the stairs down to the southern docks, or are you going to try and take your little boat into the island, which you can do because there are a number of culverts. They move the goods via, the kind of rafts through the island, so you can sort of go down the various inlets and stuff. Or are you just going to walk down the stairs or take the lift, basically? Take the hydraulic lift.
Take the lift.
I said the lift.
Yeah.
Take the lift.
Okay.
Let's do it in style.
It's actually a bit slower to take the lift, just so you know. So, because, you got to wait for the goods and stuff like that. Sometimes something gets unloaded or whatever. But yeah, you make your way through the little culverts up to the hydraulic lift. You've just been on the big one on the causeway, which is quite different because the one on the causeway is how you get into the Waterfall Palace. It's big, it's guarded, and there's not a lot of traffic. This is quite the opposite. This is industrial, and you turn up and there's staff that want paying, and so you have to sort of spend a few coin, and it's a bit. Have you ever been on the? Well, I know Georgia almost certainly hasn't. But have you ever been on the Woolwich Ferry?
No.
Okay, or any kind of like river crossing where there's a boat involved, or any ferry really. To be honest, it's kind of like that experience where that you're kind of a number, as it were, but and the coffee's more expensive and there's lots of waiting involved. It's that kind of thing, and eventually you get onto this hydraulic lift. And what's different about this one as opposed to the ones on the causeway is because most of what comes up and down here is packaged goods rather than people, that people do go up and down. You're very much in the spray of the waterfall. And when you get to the southern island, or the southern part of the island, and you're down beneath the waterfall, because of the height of this last waterfall, what you find is that it's the air is just moist, and it's actually there is a haze, a fogginess to the streets because of how much spray is just around. The volume of water that's coming over the last waterfall is immense, and it's kind when you're outside around here, it's actually quite hard to hear. Like if you want to talk to someone, it's a lot easier to do it inside because then you only have to slightly raise your voice. If you're outside and you want to have a conversation, you actually have to shout to be heard. So it's not a particularly nice place to be. But you get to the the southern part of the island of Southern Docks, and that it's all again very industrial, very to purpose. But the buildings do have quite thick walls, obviously to keep the noise out and the moisture. So they're mostly made of stone. There's very little in the way of exposed wood because it will just rot. And you notice that a lot of the buildings don't actually have windows. And those that do will have some in the roof facing south. But like the walls typically don't have windows because it's just too much noise and they're just messed up anyway. So you find yourself on the streets of the Southern Docks. Big harbour, lots of buildings.
Well, we'll have to head east and find some ship going further east.
Well,
okay.
I mean, it'd be preferable if we can find a ship that's going east, but failing that, we'll just hire some junket to take us there.
So you've got a number of options. You can either go and look at the boats themselves, or you can go into one of the many taverns and bars, or and there's a number of business establishments as well.
Tavern.
I think
maybe an import-export business or something.
I think
Tavern.
I should tavern as well. Get a gauge of word of mouth as to which boat is the best.
Okay, you go to a tavern overlooking the harbour front. It's quite sizable. It's called the Golden Slut. And you head inside.
Of course it is.
And there are no sluts. False advertising.
Well, first thing that happens when you go inside, you get to this sort of little room, stone walls with two doors, and on the wall opposite, it's kind of like it's been painted white, but then there's some black words written on. One side it says men and an arrow to the left, and the other side it says women and an arrow to the right, which you didn't expect. And then, doors for each arrow is pointing to a door. Which one do you go through? Or do you try a different pub?
That's as soon as we get in before we get to a bar or anything.
Yeah. This is just like an entrance for you. There's no one else in there. There's just this sort of wall, little room. White walls. Men pointing left, women pointing right, and, a door for each.
Something tells me the local ale in here might taste a bit like piss. I think there's maybe another bar.
I'm going through the men's door.
So you go through that door. Okay, the rest of you, what do you do?
I think we should stand at the door and wait. If we hear Gambler Ed saying, "Hey, this is good stuff," then I think we should go in. If instead we hear him scream, we run like that.
I'm tempted to have a peek. Is there an ajar door, or is there a way to just push gently into the women's direction? Because what I'm contemplating is it just saying that, but actually it ends up in the same room anyway.
So Gambler goes through the door first. So he opens the traffic. Walks in and enters basically a reception area. It's got a lot of soft furnishings, a lot of it sort of wood or wood, stone, and red material is what most of this sort of ambience is in here. There's a lot of red lighting, and a woman greets you and says, come this way. I think we've got just the thing for you. And you are sort of taken off to down a corridor. Zeev, you open the door that points that said women, and you open that door and look through, and there's a lady actually who's just coming up to the door and opens it and says, "Oh, hello, do come in, do come in."
I might be a little lost. Why do you have different gender doors?
Well, we're just being clear as to what we cater for and how we cater.
Oh fuck!
Well,
I had a hint about this, and I said,
I mean,
come on.
I
It's just
I
me
am,
being dirty-minded. No, that's
as you
Becky being
can
dirty-minded.
see, I am cat folk. That surely would not make a difference.
No, we'll take custom of all sorts here.
Yes. We were really just trying to find out if any decent boats are on the dock, and if anybody knows about them here.
Seaman is our speciality.
Is that a slogan, or did you just make that up on the spot?
That was an open goal. I thought even Becky's not going, and I thought, no, it's Becky. Of course, she's going to go for that one.
It's Saturday night.
I suppose we have a little time. I kind of let her take me in a bit further.
Okay, Gamlaret, you are presented with a selection of men of various different races, and she says, "Which one would you like?"
Well, who's heading east?
I can head east for you, love.
What you have to think about Gamla is anyone who says no, I'm not heading east, son, but I'll go south.
All right. So, do they look like sailors, or do they present themselves in some other fashion?
Oh, I don't know. What is your environment skills, ocean going sailor? What else could be used for that?
Environment ocean.
Yeah, well, there is, because there's two spaces where you can fill in appropriate things.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I just put stuff in for the most common. Yeah, I know you're a bit out of your element. I mean, there could be. Some of them might be. Who knows? I mean, there's there's a lovely bearded dwarf there.
Listen, fine gentlemen, we are actually looking for a ship because we are heading east. We are willing to hire someone who could carry and give us a passage east.
I think we've got a shy one. Huh?
I believe I might be in the wrong place, ma'am.
Oh, is it your first time?
I believe it is. I'm not that
Tell you what.
narrow-minded for this. Still, I don't have time for this now.
It's your first time, so if you're not able to choose, why don't you take them all? We'll do it at a special price.
You see, I'm a little bit old-fashioned in this. One at a time is already a handful. Still, I don't have time, as I'm saying.
There's no sentence you can say at this point that's going to come out well at all.
When you're in a pit, stop digging.
Yeah. As I say to my friends in groups, put down the shovel and step away from the hole you're digging yourself in.
You're gonna have to pump your way out.
I tell you what, pick an interpersonal skill that you can use to extract yourself from this situation without causing offence or it resulting in violence.
Charm.
Spend money.
Charm or money, possibly both.
Yeah, I'm doing both. You told us about the exchange of the crowns we have, just to have a basic knowledge on how much they're valuable.
Yeah, think of it. Well, a gold crown is essentially the rough value that it would be in D&D, I guess. There you go. We'll use that as a starting point.
All right, as gold pieces, that is.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm giving the I'm assume mistress, madam, I don't know the correct term, I'm sorry, about 10 crowns. And telling her, I'm sorry if I made you lose time and income. I believe I'm in a wrong place, no hard feelings. But thank you for your kind offer. I'll make sure to return once I'm done with my mission.
I have a feeling. I have a feeling there's going to be a fair few hard feelings in there.
I will give you an advantage of 2 for the money you've given. So is that going to be what? Persuasion, charm, society, etiquette? Perhaps?
Yeah, could it even be etiquette? You said
it can. Yeah. I'll accept that.
All right, so I'm doing etiquette
because you're a little bit in an awkward situation. I'm going to put a difficulty of 2 on it.
Mm-hmm. So it is 5. Do you have to add the bonus now or later?
It comes later.
It comes later. Okay.
Yeah.
Boom.
They're unseen to you. I didn't draw very well, did I? I'll take from
Excuse me.
Is that a low?
Yeah. What other cards can I throw in there? There we go. I'm just going to throw them in. Oh, right. Yeah, you absolutely no problem. Yeah, you extract yours. There's no point even doing the advantage. You oops, sorry, wrong button. You're fine. You get out of there pretty quickly. So, Zeev, meanwhile, you were pursuing things, weren't you? So, you get a lovely selection of ladies and a scratching post.
Even better. You've got to have a scratch post for afterwards.
Various creatures, furred and otherwise, including a lovely bearded dwarf. Take your pick.
Is there any way to tell if any are more experienced out of the selection? So therefore, they possibly have seen more sailors passing through. They know a bit more knowledge about kind of stuff.
Well, the dwarf looks like the oldest.
Not necessarily the oldest. I'm talking the most experienced. You just want me to fuck the dwarf, don't you?
What? She's lovely.
I mean, she's no Mel Gibson.
It's a bit.
So no way to tell. Okay.
I mean, what would you use for that?
I came with the joke so bad. I'm telling it afterwards because I don't want to break the role playing of Jason.
I'm literally talking about Mel Gibson. There's no role playing at the minute.
I mean, you could shout and see if some of them catch an echo.
Well, the thing about talking about Mel Gibson, that you have to remember.
I told you that was bad.
For Jason, Mel Gibson's quite a gripping subject.
Dripping. That's the word.
The closest skill I could find for how experienced is this prostitute is anthropology.
Yeah. Mino has. Okay. I guess I would do eeny, meeny, miny, mo in that case.
Okay, so you're just picking one.
Just
Can I has anthropology?
If you have the skill, sure. If not, no.
No. That was a joke of Jason being a cat.
Would possibly
Oh.
acrobatics help with how experienced one was in this situation?
No. Okay, the eeny, meeny, miny, mo ends up on the dwarf. Do you go with it?
Of course.
It's destined. You could.
Fine. Yeah. I
You've
mean,
drawn the short straw.
she can only do what I want her to do. So sure.
Okay, the dwarf grabs the scratching post and takes you off into a side room. And now, I don't particularly want to roleplay through a sex scene with
Not
my
after-
fiance on a live stream. So,
Or at least not after the last time.
not. The last time he grabbed me by surprise.
Quite literally.
Oh fuck.
So, I take it you're going to not do the dirty and instead inquire about sailors.
I mean, I wanna get what I pay for a little bit, but yeah,
Okay.
I'd at least do some pillow talk in terms of asking about sailors and boating and stuff.
Okay. So let's have a charm check from you.
Are you going
Charm
to
what
pay?
charm?
Are you going to pay for the information?
Yes,
Well,
probably.
At the very least, he's paying for the service.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
But
So
do we
just
need
to be
to
clear-
feel sorry for the prostitute?
just to be clear, you are going to leave a small deposit with the prostitute.
Yeah.
So,
However, and if that works with cat folk, I don't know.
Still, does he have a human dong or a cat dong? Because
really
on the second
good
option,
question.
I'm feeling so sorry for the prostitute.
so moving on.
Oh, come on.
Wow.
At a certain point, it's too much, Giorgio, too much.
We've had on a Saturday night game, we've had the shock of grabbing Mel Gibson's cock. We've had the horror of an elderly Kylie Minogue snatch. But this is too much for Becky to roleplay.
No, what is too much is giving an anatomical description of a saber-toothed cat human hybrid's penis. But that is too much.
Yeah,
I cannot give an anatomical description of a saber-toothed cat human hybrid penis. I'm sorry. I don't know the answer.
I'm sorry, Becky. I didn't want to make you in a tight spot, to put you in a tight spot.
No, it's Jason that's in a tight spot because he's trying to use that thing to get inside a dwarf.
It's just got to come down like a trap in it, really.
I had
Okay,
my
this is
water
what she
about
does.
here. I was about to choke to death.
She slowly does this, then she backs off and. Also,
Right.
I have nothing in my charm, so I'm racking my brains as to which cards to freaking use.
Skill test 0 then.
Yes, I know.
Well, I'm not using those from the table. I will instead use
I
that
mean,
one.
we're off to a great start. I mean,
Look, if that prostitute suddenly gets up and starts choking on a hairball, that's on you.
Okay, let's go with this.
Well, she's quite hairy as well because she's a dwarf.
Nothing's happening.
You'll need to select 0, click skill test,
Yeah, I've done all that.
and
Yeah.
now you can click 3 cards.
I've done that, and I've selected low and stuff.
Oh, and it's not come up. Hang on.
No.
Try again.
Well, there's no
No.
button to press.
All right, hang on a minute. What I'll do then, I'll clear this. And
Okay,
let's try
that works,
again. And oh well, that changed my hand a bit. What am I going to do? Still the same.
Okay, I can't select any cards now.
You'll have to do the 0 skill test.
Okay, cool. All right, yeah.
There we go. Boom. Right, you fail. Regrettably. So she doesn't impart anything, and then as you're sort of trying to extract information from her, you kind of forget what it was that you were actually doing because she's giving you a good time, and you kind of forget. So anyway, the rest of you're waiting outside for a while.
He better make this worthwhile.
Ronnie, you are muted. I can see you trying to talk.
No, I sort of absent-mindedly lifting my wrist to look at the time.
So yeah,
And
Gamarad, Finny, and Martin, you're kind of all kind of like stuck in the corridor, and Zeev just hasn't come back.
I hope the beer's good.
Yeah, no beer.
You better
There's
come
no
up with
beer
something.
in the tavern.
You better make.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. That's more of a brothel. And by the way, it took the right door.
Oh,
It's
Oh,
a brothel. It's a brothel. He's never coming out.
What do you take me for, Danny?
You mean they
you've
hired
got
him?
form. That's all we're saying.
Are we waiting for him? Because I still
Well, we
want
might
beer.
go to. I think we might go to the pub.
Yeah, we'll go to the pub. Can we leave
Yeah.
a message to him?
Yeah, I don't believe there's anyone here waiting for us to give them a message so they could give it back to Zeev. Still, Finny, you might as well go through that door and leave the message for Zeev and see what happens.
Yes.
Is there a
I guess
tavern
we'll end up with each other.
with a window that looks on the sort of
There are no windows
what in any of the taverns?
in any of the buildings. They have skylights, but there's no windows in this place because they'll just mist up and be, because of all the spray and stuff.
Yeah.
they'll just
No.
mist up
I
and
mean,
volume.
yeah. I was going to suggest we go to a nearby tavern and just sit at the window and wait for Zeev to come out. But
Yeah, this is a dank, depressing place.
I'm beginning to suspect it.
It's for three of us, anyway.
After a period of time, which based on his role isn't actually that long, because he did play some fairly weak cards in there, Zeev reappears.
Oh, here already.
So you've got us a
That was
boat.
quick.
then?
Well, I don't mess around.
You've got us a boat.
Oh. No. No. I'm sorry. I did ask. I don't really remember what she told me.
So you didn't right. Get back in there and find the information then.
But I'm finished. I can't. I need to wait. It was not a pub or a tavern after all. It just so happened.
Okay. Ask
in a
not
proper
what you
tavern.
can do,
But
not what your country can do for you, but you can do for your country.
I've worked out what the different arrows mean, though.
I'm going in to another tavern and head
Sure,
north.
I could do with a drink as well. A bit parched.
Right. Let's see if we can actually
Okay.
find a tavern this time.
Okay, so you go to the next building along, you open the door, you immediately close it, you walk on to the next one, you open the door and you walk in. It's a tavern.
Yeah,
Do I want to know what was in door number 2?
The person who opened it, who was it?
Probably me, because I was the one saying I'm
Okay.
off to a tavern.
You immediately closed the door and said nope and walked on. The image you saw will stay with you for a while.
It was an elderly Kylie Minogue again.
Oh fuck no!
Yeah. It was like a Kylie Minogue Las Vegas show, you know.
I'm still dealing with the trauma of the last time.
So you go to the next tavern along.
Okay.
And it's a regular tavern. There's lots of seamen in there of the right kind, and well, we're halfway through the session. We haven't even got out of the city yet. It's incredible.
Exposition.
You get to you get in. There's lots of seamen. What you want to just approach some, look for one that appears to be a captain. Are you drinking alone?
Try and find
Maybe.
ones that are singing in the Navy and then go ask someone else.
Well, there's plenty of singing going on.
In the Navy.
Ask the
we
barman
can
if there's
sail
any
the seven
captains in.
seas.
Maybe.
Vinny, you go up to the barman and ask if there's any captains in. Okay, how knowledgeable is this bar person? I shall say, I don't know. You see, because this is my first night. I don't really know who's who. They're always changing in here anyway, and you never really know who's in. So I'm told, because I don't know. It's my first night. Please don't be harsh on me. So, would you like a drink?
Yes, drink for my friends as well, please.
4? Oh gosh, it's going to take ages. Right, okay.
He's with respect.
Glass. Make sure it's clean.
Hey, I was good at that job, thank you. It's not my fault people kept ordering Guinness last.
No, the
That was
cask is
definitely
empty. Hang on,
pre-COVID
and she
knowledge.
puts a third filled glass on the bar. I just got to go and try and change the keg over. You left me instructions. Let me see. Well, I've got to get there first, right? Okay. Right, and she disappears. There is no sign of her for a while.
Okay, well, we still got to find our own captain then.
Are there any bottles of stuff kind of on the back counter or anything?
Yeah, there's bottles behind the bar. There's a couple of other people at the bar. In fact, there's somebody actually just hopping over the counter now and grabbing a couple.
Yeah, I'm tempted to just hop over, get a bottle that we want, pour a few glasses, and just leave the money.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you get some wine.
Yeah.
It's not bad. A little bit bitter, but yeah, it's reasonably good stuff. And there you are drinking wine. Sailor comes up to Martin and says, "Hello, darling."
Go on.
To me?
Yeah.
How you doing?
You look fresh.
Well, that's the rumor.
So you've must be new in what do you call this place in this city of yours? Southern Docks or something, isn't it? You must be new here because I've not seen your face before, and I thought I knew everyone.
Oh, we're just transitory. We're just passing through.
Oh, you're not a new boy at one of the brothels then?
I'm flattered you think I'm cute enough, but no.
Oh well. And he looks all a bit sunken faced and walks off.
However, if you are looking for some new boys, I heard the brothel down at the end of the road there is teeming with fresh faces.
I've had all of them.
Oh, okay.
He wanders off.
Why didn't you ask him about going east?
Martin,
It
he was
seemed
practically in your lap.
yes, and I think he was going to enjoy being. Well, of course, he would have enjoyed being in my lap. He wouldn't, but he seemed so crestfallen when I said I wasn't a new boy from the brothel. It seemed kind of wrong to be heartless and use him simply for his skills. It just didn't seem right.
Service crash. This big guy with blue skin crashes his fists down on the bar. He looks big and highly intimidating, and possibly a pirate, given by the number of cutlasses he's holding, and the fact he's got scars all over his face and what have you.
Clearly, this is what
skin?
happens when Smurfs take steroids.
Do you know
Sorry,
who blue skin people might be?
Well, there's only one you're vaguely aware of. That's rumor of this particular species of people that have like blue skin and exoskeletons, and they guard the Great Stitch far to the north, which is believed to be some kind of dimensional rift. And it's believed that these blue skin people with the exoskeleton are like some kind of guardians to that rift that won't let anyone in or out because they're, no one really knows, but people think they're from another dimension. But he's not. This creature doesn't have an exoskeleton. You don't know what it is. It's big. It's muscular, but it's almost dressed like a classical pirate. It's got bandana, stripy trousers, the works, and this scar on the face type thing, and multiple cutlasses.
Gamlerit?
Yes.
What's taken so long?
You're the charmer amongst us.
Yeah, I don't believe there's no way in charming this fella. Hello there.
Slow in here, aren't they?
They are a bit, yeah.
I beg your pardon?
I said they're slow in here, aren't they?
Yeah, kinda. We're still waiting, but we just grabbed something from beyond the counter if you want to suit yourself.
Huh.
Also, just leave money on the counter so you don't actually steal anything. But it's up to you, really. I'm not judging.
He might want to.
Yeah, it's his business.
He takes from his hip a whip, and then he flicks it at a bottle of whiskey behind the bar and yoinks it towards himself, catches it with the other hand. It knocks 4 other bottles off the shelf, but he's got his whiskey, and he puts his whip back on his hip, and he just uncorks the lid and drinks it straight from the bottle.
That is an impressive skill, my friend.
Meanwhile, bottles are smashing on the floor from that were next to it.
Yeah, I can totally know that.
And
You've come from far, haven't you? You don't happen to be heading back into that direction fairly soon?
Which direction?
Well, north-ish.
North's up a waterfall. My ship ain't gonna go up in a waterfall.
We're looking to go east, my fine man.
I can take you east.
How much are we talking about?
How far are you going?
What's that town on the river called?
That is Lirimer.
Oh, as far as Miramar.
That's right.
I can take you to Lirimer. 100 crowns.
All in?
Yeah. 100 crowns for the trip. I don't care how many.
And when are we leaving?
Whatever you like. I've got nothing else on.
25 each.
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah. Okay, you're on.
When do we leave?
As soon as you finish your drink.
And we finish ours.
I'll take it to go. And he starts to head out. And at that moment, the barmaid comes up, soaked in beer. I've done it. Okay. Now, 4 beers, wasn't it?
It's fine.
And you will leave.
Yeah.
Oh, stick some money on the counter for her as well. But...
Oh, what a mess. Oh, no, what's happened?
Oh, no.
And you head out. And you head out into the harbour. And you have to walk a little way down, because obviously this harbour is huge. And you have to walk a little way down before you get to where his particular boat is. And when you get there, because like there are a number of different styles of boat. Like if you imagine, you know, obviously fantasy world's usually kind of Middle Ages type thing, and so you've got like the Western Galleon type ships, and you've got like the Mediterranean type ships, a little bit different, not quite as solidly built, actually, oddly enough. And then you've got the you know, the kind of the Eastern junks, and you might have a few wherries in there as well, you know, those kind of things. So there's a number of different types of boat, but then you get to his, and it's like nothing you've ever seen before. It's mostly black instead of like, you know, wood, but it's kind of black, but with skulls all over it of various different types and sizes, and a lot of them not humanoid. The sails appear to be made from skin of some large creature. As you get closer to this blackened hull, you realize it's actually a shell of some creature. The boat is kind of a little more round than other vessels you've seen. It's not quite as, you know, traditional boat shaped. It's sort of, because it's a shell. It's like a giant tortoise shell that's been converted. But it does have like a superstructure and stuff, but it seems more sinewy.
What's your usual trade?
I don't have a trade.
I think he makes the trade as he goes along.
I'm sorry, my man. I'm thinking of a polite way of asking this, but what the fuck is this? What kind of boat is this? Yeah. What is made of? What is it made of? If you don't mind me asking, of course.
I don't know the word in your language, but it's a big turtle.
Oh.
That's so metal. I like this a lot. It brings a tear to my eye.
I am not from your face of the fragment.
Yeah, we had a hunch about it. Still, thank you for the passage.
As long as it works.
I'll go any direction. Wherever the wind takes me. And this journey, it seems, is to the east. Please board my vessel.
Get on
Call
board.
it
Okay,
the
yeah.
Black
Go on
Shell.
board.
The black shell.
Are the crew aboard?
Yes. You don't see anyone.
Is it just the turtle? Is that the crew?
No.
There's nobody here though.
They're here.
Below the deck?
You can go where you please. The whole
Yeah,
ship
I
is
thought,
open
yeah,
to you.
yeah. I thought that.
Don't
was
question greatness.
No, he's just fucking. He's just fucking press ganged us. We're the bloody crew now.
He's in for a bloody shock if he thinks we're going to sell anything.
I suppose this is what Martin was suggesting with a used ship. We are actually using it. Like, literally.
Once you're on board, he takes the whip off from his hip, and using the whip, he grabs the ropes that are mooring the ship, big as they are, and yanks on his whip to untie them and bring them back on board. So he does each one in turn. And then he casts off again, all using essentially he sails the thing with his whip. So the pushes off, gets the sails unfurled, and he turns the rudder. Again, when it comes to turning the rudder, he flicks at the rudder, at the wheel, turns it using his whip, and then locks it into position with another flick, and then puts his whip back.
Is one of his arms distinctively more muscular than the other one?
No, but the other arm, it seems, is for his cutlass.
He's quite whip smart, him.
And then, it starts sailing off towards the Great Tsunami Wall with his. And by the time you're actually sailing on, he's just got, he's sort of laying back on the deck, and you feel the presence of things moving around you, but you can't quite place it. It's like you're not alone on this boat.
I don't like this.
You could say that the crew are here.
I was rather worrying that he meant us, but it seems maybe not.
No.
Are these spirits?
As long as we get to live in one piece, I don't really care.
So, do you go below deck? There's some sinewy openings at each end.
Depends on how much the trip will take us. Give or take.
How long?
It is a little weather dependent, but you're talking 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Choice. I mean,
I mean, given I'm a cat, I guess I'd probably want to be more up high than anything, or bask in the sun. So I'll probably keep on deck mostly.
Yeah, there's actually a basket up one of the sails, but you realise the mast feels like it's a bone of something.
Walking into the orifice of a large seagoing turtle is probably less horrific than whatever was in door number 2. So,
it appears to just be the shell of a turtle, not the turtle itself, because there's no turtle in here. Like, you're in the bit that would be turtle. It's like the boat has been made from some turtle that has been killed, which just is slightly more intimidating. But yes, by all means, if you go into the sinewy entranceways, who's going to do that first?
I'll go in first.
Okay. As you walk through the sinewy orifice, you feel something wet down the back of your neck, and you instinctively kind of reach to grab, and as you look, it's just kind of like a mucus that's just dripped off of the orifice. It's kind of gross.
Mucus.
Yeah.
I didn't like the way it's described as a sinewy orifice.
I guess he was right that the crew and the seamen are down here.
And it takes you a moment for your eyes to adjust, and to the darkness. And as eventually your eyes do start adjusting, you make out this kind of this room. There's 2 orifices at this end, and then there's one at the rear end of the boat. You've gone into one of the front ones, and this appears to just be basically a room with some rugs on the floor, some soft rolls of rugs to use as pillows, and there's several of them in here. but the walls are kind of dank.
Well, this rug's on the floor and pillows. I assume we just crash here, I suppose.
Wherever you please.
Oh fuck! Wasn't him on deck?
Did you dispatch this huge turtle thing yourself, or?
Yes, that is the way.
It's quite extraordinary. I've never quite heard of such a thing.
It's because they're not on your face of the fragment.
Oh. Different face of the fragment? You've sailed a long way.
I have.
Are you on a quest for something? Are you looking for something, or you're just enjoying the other faces of the fragment?
Something stronger, a greater challenge. I've killed the greatest creatures on my fragment, and so I came to this one.
Oh yeah, that checks out.
Well, back at the harbor there, there was this door that I thought was too much to go through. You might be able to handle it. That might be a challenge.
Also, here there are big ass creatures, such as I wasn't that that into what's the skill called? Xenology class, but I believe they're called wyverns.
Wyverns.
Oh, wyverns. Yeah. I wasn't paying that much attention in xenology class.
Yes, the brood mother. I have heard of her.
Yeah, if you want to tie up with the
so that's
the
what you're looking
giants,
for. Or the
tie up with
giants.
yeah. They can take you to the brood mother quite easily.
Yes, I haven't killed the giant yet either.
Unfortunately, they are both mainly inland.
I know. I'll get to them.
And we'll cheer for you, mate.
I will kill one of each. You're lucky I've had a dwarf and I've had a human. What's that creature? He says, pointing to Zeev. And at that moment, we'll take a break.
Okay.
Well, shit.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm back.
Woohoo.
I thought I'd speak in my normal voice rather than that Scottish accent I put on all the time. It's a bit of an hassle.
Aha, we are all here. So yes,
Yes.
he says, what is that creature? Pointing to Zeev.
That is a cat person, particularly harmless.
What do you mean particularly harmless?
If he thinks you're a big enough challenge, he's gonna try and kill you, stuff you, mount you.
No, I'm not.
I was going to say, hopefully that order.
Not necessarily in that order.
What I will do, though, is I'm going to ask you a very important question, cat thing.
My name is Zeev.
Zeev. Who's the greatest of your kind? Your greatest warrior?
Do I actually know the answer to that?
Well, from your perspective, probably your mentor, Pusim Banderas.
You'll have to forgive me. I do not know every single cat person there has ever been. I do know one cat person who taught me, who is quite formidable. His name is Pusim Banderas.
Where can I find this Pusim Banderas?
We're back in Moraine.
Do you give him the Assassin's Guild address?
No, I just say Moraine.
No. And whereabouts in Moraine? It is a huge city.
Isn't that part of the fun? Part of the challenge?
No.
Well, he's not possibly the most powerful, but I have lived in the city all my life. My knowledge is limited.
If he is the most powerful cat person in the city, he's probably the most powerful cat person on this side of the world fragment. It is my experience that everything is in Moraine.
Again, I have a limited perspective.
If he knows anyone better, then I will find them. Otherwise, I will kill him. And you arrive at the Great Tsunami Wall. Now, the way the wall works is it's kind of two walls that kind of overlap, and then here is like this sort of entranceway that the boat sails through. But you notice there's this additional section of wall that is held back by chains and stuff, and there's this huge hydraulically powered guillotine blade that you think will, when triggered, it will cut through all the chains, and then the tide of a tsunami would push that block to close the door. This does actually happen several times a year, apparently, and then every time it gets reset and the Queen comes out to open the tsunami gate again. Apparently, it used to be done manually back many millennia ago, but it's a huge job to get the door open. Anyway, you sail through the Great Tsunami Wall. There are people on top of it. They're tiny little dots from where you are, because it's huge, like towers above the place. I mean, it's not as big as the prison tower was on the other island that overlooked House Oak, but it is substantial. And you sail through, and then you are out into the open sea. And, not a lot happens in seas. They're kind of empty places. Unless you're, incidentally, tangent, unless you try and sail around the British coast. Fuck me, it's full of shit. Right, but anyway, but no, there's not an awful lot at sea apart from that huge tsunami. Because of course I'm going to put one in. So yeah, the sea starts rising rapidly. You hear the cries at the top of the tsunami wall just after you've gone through. Tsunami! And the great guillotine blades slide across the wall, and the snap of the hydraulic pressure behind it is immense. And it's kind of like it's water jet powered as it flings up across and through all these chains, and they snap with this shattering sound, sending sparks flying. And as the blade slices through them all, chung, 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 the racket is actually painful to your ears. And then there's this almighty crack. And then as the water is rising and rising and rising pretty quickly, the pressure, sure enough, starts to shut the tsunami wall door. And you're being pushed back toward the wall, and it's just a weight of water thing. It's just, you can't not. Your captain, whose name you haven't gotten, he's got his whip out. He's trying to steer the boat, but it's not enough. And so he pulls from around his neck, like tucked inside his clothes, he pulls out a whistle and blows it. And at that moment, where before you felt the presence of other people or other things around you, you begin to see all of the creatures that he's killed take a kind of ethereal form, like they're bound to him as his servants. Even the turtle of this shell, and they all kind of start appearing as a kind of ghostly presence, and he barks orders at them in a language you can't understand, and creatures the likes of which you have never seen start doing things with the boat to try and get it to go faster, and a number of them would jump overboard and try to push the boat, swimming it and pushing the boat. And you're just surrounded by these ethereal creatures trying to do stuff against the weight of the tsunami. And he turns to you and he barks orders, but he kind of forgets to switch language, and you've no idea what he just said, but you almost feel a compulsion to do things, although you didn't understand what. And that's the situation you are currently in.
At this point, I sort of turn at Zeev, sort of with a fair amount of horror in my voice, and say, "This is the man you've sent to push Banderas?
He doesn't know where he is.
What if he wins? He's going to enslave him and all."
He doesn't know where he is. He will not find him, I think.
You want to take that risk? You want to do you want to place our teacher on this ship for all eternity?
Either way, I can't do anything right now because there's a big tsunami about to happen.
Yeah. What was he pointing at when he was barking orders? Not that we know the name of it, but
it looked like the mast at the back, perhaps, or possibly the wheel.
Okay.
Right, you take the thing, you take the spinny thing, and we'll take the big flappy thing, saily flappy thing. And
you couldn't be clearer.
Yeah, you're natural.
Well, look,
at least I'm speaking in our language. It's better than he was.
You're all from Moraine. Boats are a way of life. So even if you aren't particularly a sailor, you still understand a boat. You know a sail and a mast and and so forth. So yeah, you start trying to help. Let's see how effective that help is. So can somebody take well, river is the closest skill you've got, so but can somebody attempt to contribute to the disaster that's unfolding around you?
That'll be me then.
Yeah, if it is about pushing and pulling, I got 2 in power athletics, if that counts.
Yeah, I'm way
Some
better at the
degree.
jumping and the spinning and the acrobaticness.
Am I the only one with river?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
You
It's gonna
might
have to
be.
me then.
Yeah.
I've got river, but only at 1.
Yeah, me too.
I'm all about that urban exterior.
Yeah.
Who feels they've got the strongest hand?
I mean, my hand's not good anyway. I've only got 3. Oh,
Yeah, I got
okay.
4.
That's a good start.
I'll take the hit. I'll go for it.
Well, we're all in the same boat, so I think it's gonna be all of us taking the hits.
So I got to come up with the best 3, haven't I?
Best 3,
Aye.
yeah.
Aye.
Ooh, nicely
Ooh.
done.
Yeah.
Sharp, mate.
You've done it by 1. So,
Deal.
thanks to that, you survive without you having to make all of those athletics and power athletics checks and so forth.
Yay.
With the help of Martin shouting commands, you are able to get the boat, well, keep it off the tsunami wall as the water comes rushing in. And then eventually, because there's this huge solid wall, the water starts subsiding. But of course, as it does, you're actually taken quite a long way out to sea. But you don't capsize, you kept it under control, you didn't get trapped against the wall, and all of the many other things that could have gone wrong if you failed that last check. So,
I have to say, you dealt me that I got dealt that high effect card as my 1 card. That would have been. That's the only reason I managed to succeed. Was I got that high effect card.
fair. So yeah, you basically survive the tsunami, but it's a hard, grueling day. At the end of which he gives a couple of puffs on his whistle, and the ethereal spirits sort of fade back into their skulls. We are off course, he says. I will turn the ship, but I'm afraid we will be a few more days.
Yeah, so I've never been out at sea before, so well, you're the best place to know what to do.
Yeah.
I am sure 4 days is not an inconvenience.
And you can actually see a coastline you've never seen before. It's heavily wooded. Yeah, it's like some kind of jungle or something. And there are creatures circling, the likes of which are unfamiliar to you.
Is this opposite Moraine then, is it?
Mm. Yeah, it's off the normal map. But yeah, you start sailing away from that coastline and sort of back across the ocean. And it's basically a couple of very boring days at sea during which not a lot happens after that, until eventually you see the coast that you were originally on ahead of you after a few days on the Black Shell. And once you sight the coast, he kind of corrects course a little bit, sails along it for a while, and you see some of the farmland that is, you've heard, all part of, not really part of Moraine, but it's kind of, there's there is kind of like a breadbasket for Moraine along the coast, the southern coast, to the east of the city. And eventually you sight, on the 4th day, you sight a big stone. What at first you thought was a tower, but as you get a little closer, you realise it is a bridge, and it is colossal in scale. Because you sight it from a long way away, like it's over the horizon when you first sight it, and then as you get closer, it's basically a bridge over an estuary to head in. And I'll bring the map up. I'll give you a little. Basically, it's here. This bridge here is larger than some towns. You know, it's just on a huge scale. It was built thousands of years ago by giants, and you've heard of this bridge. It's called Old Empire Bridge. And it was built by giants in the old days, and is still standing. It looks old, but as you get to it, it's you see along the sides of the bridge, it's statues of old emperors and stuff, but it's on a just such a colossal scale. And then he sails into this estuary, and this is as close as the Black Turtle can get to Lirimer. But we'll sail upriver a little so you can get off.
Thank you very much.
Have you been here before, Captain?
I did go to Lirimer in search of the most powerful Eldarian or elf. I have not managed to find him yet. He's still on my list. I have his name here. Civilius Silverbraid. That was it.
You don't happen to remember where you saw him last, do you?
I have not seen him yet.
Or a rough idea of where he might be, according to rumors?
I went to the city of Lirimer that he supposedly controls, and he was not there. I was disappointed.
Well, we may be lucky this time.
It is not what I am currently hunting.
What are you currently hunting?
There is a giant.
Oh?
I believe more than one.
Of this man, there is only one of him. He is the chieftain of chieftains or something.
Mm-hmm.
They have been going around all of the places where giants supposedly are in search of him.
Oh, you've been inland then?
Not yet.
Oh, they're a long way to the northwest, I believe.
There are more than one place where you can find giants. I will find him.
Well, good luck, I suppose.
Yes.
Yeah. Good luck on your search.
And to you. And when you get to a point in the river where he can essentially make landfall and drop you off, he does so. And so you're a little way upriver on... I keep going to that one.
You just love me so much.
I do, actually. Zoom this in? Apparently not. So you're a little way up this river.
Yes.
Probably about where that tree is on the map. And it's kind of a bit wildernessy here, to be honest, because this isn't really the beaten path.
Okay.
You find yourself on the west coast, and there's nothing else on the river around here.
Is this town not populated? Is it?
There's no town. He just dropped you off on the side of the river.
Yeah, we've got to go upriver.
Yeah, no choice.
So you trek along the side of the river for a while. You come across a farm. Eventually.
Buy some supplies, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, you meet a farmer. She's lovely. Oh, hello, dears. You all right? Travelling upriver?
Yes, headed north.
Yes, we were hoping to. We thought maybe there would have been a town. We could have maybe bought a small boat to make the travel a little easier. But
there's some fishing towns down on the coast, down south, but you're walking north. But if you're after a boat, I mean, there are river folk on the river. They often don't come this far down the estuary, though, because, it's just not a lot for them down there.
We will keep an eye out for them. Thank you very much for.
Well, enjoy your fruit and veg. And she heads back inside, and you carry on walking, and then eventually you find, or you do see, a riverfolk barge. It is moored on the other side of the river. And these barges, they're often pulled by horses. Some of them do sail. They look a little bit like a canal boat. So quite long and narrow, and a little bit taller. And quite often they'll have like a wherry style square sail, although this one does not. There is a pony on the by the side of the river that's grazing at the moment. The boat appears to be moored up, and it's on the other side.
Yeah, I was going to say, because we're going upstream. I mean, is there a possibility that the boats just don't go upstream?
Yeah,
at this part.
Basically, the river folk don't particularly come down this branch of the river because there's not an awful lot for them down here. I mean, you've just visited the last farm, basically, which is the furthest extreme they would ever go to, would be the last farm. On this occasion, though, you've just, you've found a boat moored the other side. You don't know what the deal is with that yet. But it's essentially at the edge of where you would find river folk, really.
But it is pointed in the right direction for us.
Well, it's moored up, but yeah.
How wide is the river?
It's pretty substantial. Wide enough. It's not so wide that you couldn't shout across. But if you think of it as as wide as the I'm trying to think of an Italian river I know the width of, and I'm afraid I don't. But if you think of it as like the kind of width you'd find of a river like the Thames in London, you've been to London, haven't you? So like as wide as the Thames.
You've been to Wolverhampton.
That's very random, and I haven't. So
okay.
But yeah, also I got a river in my hometown, so that's not that hard to imagine.
Yeah. So, but if you shout across, they could hear you. But if there's other noise around, then they're probably not going to.
Great.
I'll probably just.
But there isn't much other noise.
Wave my arms and gesture that we want to go upstream.
After a little while, somebody does come out. It's a pale-skinned woman with dreadlocks. She kind of waves across the river back at you.
Beckoning her over, just come here, sort of.
Can we hitch a ride up the stream?
Come here, hold up a coin purse.
To cross.
How are we supposed to cross without the bridge was back there, wasn't it? Or
yeah, it's probably
quite a
like
way.
if you went back to the bridge, I mean, you've been walking like 6 hours.
God.
So, and you sailed past the bridge a fair way. It's probably like a day and a half to get down to the bridge and back.
Yeah, fuck
Oh,
off.
balls to that.
Yeah, we can keep walking. As far as I'm concerned.
I
So
can't
you
swim
do.
anyway.
And it's starting to get a little bit, later into the night, and you start to lose the light. The explosion of as you remember, the world is lit by this, explosion that destroyed it, and that's starting to disappear as the world fragment tumbles. And so you find yourself walking into the night, and you could make another
Camp.
river check if you want to find somewhere to make camp, or you can keep going for a bit. You're not exhausted, like dead to the world yet, but you could keep going if you wanted. So it's your choice as to which you attempt.
I think we should probably make camp while there's still light
Yeah.
to see where we are.
Yeah.
Okay, so you start looking. Somebody's going to need to make a river check.
Do you need to take that one? Okay.
I could take it if you want, but well, what I would suggest is I'll take this one, and if I screw it up, which undoubtedly I will, you can try the next one.
Okay.
There is no next one though. Somebody's
No.
taking the check.
I'll go for it. Sod it.
Ooh.
Oh, another high effect card, la-di-da.
Yeah, it's just I don't have an awful lot with it. I'm just gonna go for points.
Yeah, I was getting rid of some rubbish cards for that one. So, you find a cave. It's it's shelter.
It'll do. I point it out to them and say that it's not much, but it's something.
It'll do in a pinch, and we can
Yeah.
start a fire and keep warm. That's the main thing. Warm and dry.
Okay. Well, you passed your check, so yes, this cave is indeed like you can set a fire in here, and it's unobservable. In the entrance, obviously, not deep in. And you do sleep that night, and it's fine. In the morning, when you start to get a bit of light, and you can see a bit into the cave as you're waking up and so on, you realise that there is a baby deer in the back of the cave.
Oh. When did that come in? Or maybe it was already in there.
Was it in
Must have
already?
been. Yeah, it must have been when we got here. We just didn't see it because it was too dark.
Are we
It's cowering.
talking like a proper like Bambi-sized baby deer?
Yeah.
Do not touch
baby
it.
deer.
I
It's
wasn't going to touch
absolutely
it.
frozen still at the back of the cave.
Let's slowly walk out. No one touched him, so her parents can still find her.
Yes, I was just thinking about the dad, if he is nearby. I don't want to get all stuck in his antlers.
So you pack up your things and you start to head out. And as you head out of the cave, you do see a very distressed-looking adult deer. That sort of, it looks like it's in a panic, and it kind of wants to get in the cave, but you were there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll immediately move to the side then to leave the cave entrance free.
Yeah, keep
Okay.
myself as small as I can and just slink,
It's quite difficult for you. You're about 8 foot tall.
Well, I get on all fours then and try and make myself small.
Okay, and you head back to the river, and assumedly behind you, the mother reunites with its little Bambi, who will now have psychological damage for the rest of its life. And you resume to the river, and you walk up the river for a bit, and it is not long until you see a wherry-rigged barge coming down the river, so the opposite direction to you, just kind of in the middle of the river. It's got this sort of dreadlocked hippie guy on the back. His skin's a little bit darker than the pale-skinned woman you saw before, but so you think like he's it's a different skin tone, but he's sort of chilling on the back of his barge. He's got a cigarette hanging out of his mouth of some kind, or smoking some kind of weed. He's heading the opposite direction to where you were going. He sees you on the bank, gives you a little wave.
Yeah, wave back.
Oi.
And so it is that eventually you come across a barge. It's a towed barge on your side of the river, pointing in the right direction. And you see it up ahead. It's underneath some willow trees. And you obviously approach it.
Of course.
There's quite a lot of flies around here.
Oh. Has this barge been there for some time?
As you get to it...
Are there corpses on it?
Yeah, definitely. There's a huge blood smear at the back of the barge.
Ooh.
Um,
Actually, quick question. What's my sense of smell like?
Good enough to smell that there is definitely a corpse on this boat.
Oh, well, I wasn't thinking like specifically for this, but I just wondered compared to the others if it's.
Yeah, I was gonna ask the question earlier with regards to your hearing, but I thought that when we were hearing something, and I thought no, that would just be bad for you.
Yeah, well, you are a hybrid, so a little bit better than a human's, but not substantially.
Okay.
So, yeah, there is definitely a corpse on this boat.
Well, I'm getting on the boat to investigate it a little bit.
Okay. You hop on board, you open the doors sort of into the barge itself, and straight away you can see there is a person spread-eagled on the floor. They've got gnaw marks, all sort of, something has taken chunks out of their neck, and it looks like the neck has snapped as well. So something has bitten them on the neck and wrung them until they died.
Are them human?
The corpse is another river person with the dreadlocks.
A river person, all right.
Not a relative of Zeph, is it?
What?
Steve. No,
Steve.
no, it's a human river folk.
No.
I was thinking the attacker.
Oh, I see. Oh, well, interesting. You could try a xenology check, see if you can identify the species.
Well, I can't. I'm out of
I don't
cards,
think that's going to end well.
All these skills you keep listing off,
Yeah.
which I have nothing in.
I got 2 if needed be.
Yeah, I've got nothing.
Well, you're the one asking, so why not?
I've got nothing in that.
Yeah, I can't do anything.
Right.
I'm out of cards.
I'm doing
Okay.
it.
All right, I'm going to make it difficulty 1, and I'm not using that card.
It is a bit crap.
Yeah, same as my choice. Yeah.
Okay, the corpse has been here a little while, you think, which just makes it impossible to determine. You can't tell. Whatever it is, it's certainly a creature with large teeth. It could be a catfolk, but you wouldn't rule out a bear or a large dog, or wolf, something along those lines either. But whatever it was certainly sizable.
Yeah.
But
To
we
snap
had-
an
Hold on a second. in all seriousness, how big is the door?
Yeah, we had to open the door to get in. So
Yeah, I mean, as I said before, they're a bit like a canal boat, but a bit taller.
Yeah.
So
No, my point. The reason I ask is
a bulky human could easily get in here, or even a bear could easily get in here.
could a bear is
But
door big enough for a bear?
it looks like this person was possibly killed on the back of the boat and kind of fell in. However, the door was shut. Could have blown shut in the wind, but the door was shut. But the blood smear is on the back of the boat. They are just inside the door.
I think we better search the rest of the boat just to make sure. Whatever it is still not here.
Go to the other side of the boat. Is there a door that way in as well?
Well, not exactly. You can walk through the boat, and then there's a door to a bedroom. Excuse me, to a bedroom, which has like a double bed in there. But there's just windows out of that room. So kind of the bed kind of goes underneath the bow of the boat, and then there's windows there, and the bed is kind of underneath the bow. So you kind of in the whole...
really didn't want to have to walk through the body to check the rest of the ship, but
you can walk around the body, but
yeah, you know what I mean. I didn't want to have to cross over the body to. I was hoping to go check the rest of the ship from the other side, but
yeah, no, there's no door at the other end. It's just one way in.
Well, in that case, we're going to have to
They're not built with health and safety regs of the modern world in mind. Yeah, there's a little stove, there's a little seating area, and that's kind of it, really.
So there's nobody else on board?
No one else on board.
Well, this is a problem, because we need to get this going, or find another boat.
If only we knew someone who could manage a riverboat.
You said there was a horse tied up there.
Yeah, I said it was a towed boat, didn't I? Yeah.
Ponies grazing.
Is the horse still there, though?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if it was a bear, it didn't attack the horse, but it attacked the person.
Yeah, a wild animal would have went for the boat. Yeah, a wild animal would have spooked the horse. And a bear definitely would have spooked the horse. A bear probably would have went for it.
Is there any more damage inside the boat?
Come on, guys, we are not stating the obvious. It was werewolf. Of course.
We just overlooked the obvious.
Yep, absolutely.
What phase of the moon is it?
The minute I saw the body, my first instinct was werewolf.
How much to the next full moon, Becky?
Of course, I should ask that straight away.
There is no moon. Your planet exploded.
Yes, I know. I was.
Right.
Because of the other campaign. Okay, I wouldn't mind. I'm not obviously expecting to find find out this person's name, whoever they were, but I wouldn't mind seeing if they've got any either distinct marking or anything on them, maybe even like a note or something.
Okay, you have a rummage around the person and the immediate area where the death happened and so forth. A lot of what they're wearing, like they're wearing homemade clothes. The shoes are, they are leather topped, but the soles are actually dried reed. They kind of, use what's close to the river, basically, these people. You don't find anything on him that identifies him, but you do find loose in the back of the boat, there was a silver dagger. Quality 2, if anybody wants it.
It's a fucking werewolf.
and this world doesn't technically have werewolves. What it has is dog wares.
So
just-
dogs that turn human with some sort of cycle.
Domestic dog type things that become human, but they do also have a more monstrous state as well.
Dog wares. I'm
Dogware.
loving
Yeah.
this.
And they're regarded as feral and disgusting creatures that just need to be slain.
But again, surely it would have gone for the pony. This seems planned to me or targeted.
Yeah, of course. But
what you do find, if you search the boat,
Which I'm doing.
Yeah, so you find some embroidery, and that embroidery does have the name Zaf.
Zaf.
You don't know if it's the person's name, but there's like this bit of embroidery that says Zaf with a heart and some sparkles around it.
Okay. Looking for a ledger, bill of sale, anything that gives us an idea of any business this guy has done lately.
You see a repair bill for Arwent Boatyard. Apparently, there was a repair done, or well, not repair actually. I would say it'd be the hull was cleaned and repainted about 6 months ago.
Has he got any
Sorry,
cargo?
it's something.
I'm sorry, Phil, I missed that.
Has he got any cargo on board?
No, but there is food in the cupboards.
what about his stash?
His stash
Yes.
of
Weed.
Yeah. His sailing medication.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
It's his sickness medication.
You find like he's got about 30 silver, and he's got some on the roof of the boat is some rolls of still drying reeds, and you find that he doesn't smoke.
Oh fuck.
You were just playing to stereotypes, weren't you, Gunnerad?
I mean, maybe. I mean, it's not going to get offended.
If only one of us were a centaur, maybe they could talk to the horse and see what it was that came here.
Yeah, but centaurs are miles and miles away from here. I'll never find one of those.
Yeah.
Also, they keep bragging about saving other people's lives while they didn't. So,
Oh, what did you hear that?
no, it's something I read.
Oh.
Perhaps we should bury this one on the shore and take the boat upriver.
We need to get the flies out of here if the food is going to last.
We could leave the cabin door open and the windows open while we bury him.
Question is, do we take the boat?
Of course we do. Do you think it's some sort of hunted?
Well,
Scared of taking
it is still very peculiar to me that something seemingly so feral did not attack the horse, which means either they are very picky eaters or it was deliberate.
Or they are some sort of sentient. If they're sentient, they may have some sort of quarrel with this man.
Deliberate. And what I'm worried about is because they attacked this ship, it means that the ship itself could be a mark. So if we suddenly get on and start moving it, then they will think possibly more food. If they come back.
So you're for walking the rest of the way?
Well, beggars cannot be choosers.
Yeah, but still, if the boat was a mark of this fellow, maybe Zeph, maybe not, and they already murdered him, I mean, there's no one to be marked anymore. Unless there's more people who had quarrels with this man, and then we're screwed. But
Or
I don't believe
maybe
that's the case.
maybe they just love river folk. Well, I can see the rest of you are not really up for walking, so fine, I will risk it.
I just think we need to speed up our trip.
Yeah.
If we can get the thing to move at a speed that is quicker than walking.
Does
Okay.
the barge have a name?
Yes. It's called the Free Spirit 4.
4.
As in, there's been 3 boats before it.
Hmm.
Or perhaps it's part of a bigger fleet company?
Or the name had been taken 3 times.
I'm sorry, the name you requested is no longer available. You could choose.
This name's already been
Spirit
taken.
259.
It's already been taken.
Why don't you take X6, the free wind 69X6?
Underscore.
Oh,
Underscore.
it'll have, of course, the port it's registered in as well, which is Arwent, which is where you
Okay.
need to go.
Yep.
All right, okay. Better get this body off then, and maybe clean the deck
Question.
a little.
If the documents have Arwent written over them, what tells us that anybody knowing the boat and the owner of the boat would ask question as to why we are sailing the boat and not this Zaf fellow? We may get in some troubles.
We just tells them the truth.
I'm
Yeah,
tempted.
we
We're just
find
taking
the
it back
boat
to
and
port.
yeah, we casually find the boat with the owner with the neck snapped and half eaten. So we yanked him.
We nicked his boat.
We
Yeah.
didn't nick his boat. We are taking it back to where
Yes,
it is supposed to go.
We're returning the boat.
Yes.
Are we returning him as well?
No. It'll be pretty smelly by the time we get there.
Yeah, but
It will taint the food.
You'll be able to bottle it by the time you get there.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, as you wish,
Sorry.
guys. That might work.
Yeah, I'm just a little worried that if we arrive with some dead guy's boat, they might start asking where he is, and if
You
Don't
never
worry.
know. He might have stolen the boat himself.
Money talks.
Yes, money does indeed talk. And we have lots. We are from Moraine, after all. Prestigious people.
All right. So you bury the Seth. Do you give him any kind of service, or do you just bury him and move on?
Just bury him.
Yeah, I didn't manage to say it, but I was planning on just dumping out of the boat, so no service for me.
Oh, right, just dumping it. Okay.
perform a small.
But dumping him in the river, was that coming around?
No, just on the shore,
Okay.
so
But-
that the needy animals could have a last meal. But if they're planning on burying him, of course, I'm not opposing to that.
So the plan is to bury, is it?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll
Okay.
say a few words, then.
Well, we don't know. We don't know what his beliefs were, so words might be
No,
offensive.
we can say something along the lines of
I don't think
hope
he
you're
will mind.
sailing-
He is dead.
I hope you're sailing well in the next life, and
I carefully kind of knead the soil a bit and start just scraping.
Is that because you've done a turd there, or you just?
No, it's because I'm dressing the area.
Okay, and presumably you clean up the back of the boat as well.
Mhm.
Okay, and then you untie the pony and try and get it to move. And because do any of you have animal handling?
No.
I don't recall.
No.
Do any of you
I
have
mean-
ride?
Mm,
Ride is under a
I have
skills.
ride.
You have
What is
right.
that?
Okay, so you understand the basics of getting a horse to move.
I was-
Okay, so
I was going to say, claw in the rump would do the same thing, wouldn't it?
I was sort of
or a
assuming.
kick in the face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
slightly less controllable though.
I was hoping the horse would have more idea than we did, actually.
Yeah, once you get it going, then it does indeed just start slowly
Yeah.
moving forward. But although it's slow to begin with, the horse kind of picks up speed and it is just walking, but it knows where it's going. And yeah, it walks upriver basically.
Rather pleasant way of travelling.
Yeah, it's not bad. You kind of just have to keep your hand on the tiller to, stop bumping into the coast because you're always slightly turning right just to keep it off the side because the horse is sort of dragging it that way. But it's quite pleasant. Lots of willow trees, lots of plains trees. Lots of bits of overhanging. Willow trees overhanging the water, but the horse kind of they've built little wooden splints for the horse to go around where the path is too far or separated by a tree, so the horse knows what it's doing. It just continues to walk along, and you make a good timing. And by the end of the day, you have reached the junction in the river. Oops, done that one again. So you've reached this T-junction, and as you get there, you can see there are about 15 moored up barges, and there's some kind of canonical racing going on in the river. So a canonical is a reed basket, basically. So it's a round reed basket, and people in them got paddles, and they're kind of racing in the river. So you come around the turn in the river. It's just kind of this is all right in front of you. There's bunting up, and the river folk kind of see your boat coming, pay it no attention because it's a boat they recognise. But you've basically stumbled into a mini river folk festival of some description, which means any fears you had about being identified as, or all the fears you had could well come true. But we'll find out about that next week.
Oh, okay.
Amazing.
What a quaint little festival.
So next week it is genocide to hide our identities. Is that correct?
That is quite possible.
All right.
Welcome to the festival of the dogware.
All I want to know is if they start singing "Summer is a coming in," we're getting the fuck out at high speed. That's it. No questions asked. We are running.
Jesus Christ.
And with that, thank you, whoever was watching throughout that. Hi, don't know who you are. I could just see we've had a viewer throughout, so yay.
Good night.
Good night to you, whoever you are. And take care.
Monday.
And yes, Monday for session 41.
Yep.
Yes, indeed.
41.
Blimey. No wonder we've forgotten what's going on with the campaign. Yeah. Until then, take care. Good night.
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 Bye.